por su extraordinaria labor educativa. Welcome, Millicient, please.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Millicient Cassianes. Greetings from Kenya. I'm so happy to be here today to this conference. And I'd like you to feel grateful to be together with us. It's nice to interact with like-minded people like you and people who value education. I'm going to discuss the interaction between education philosophy. I'm going to discuss the interaction between philosophy and education. Welcome. Okay, the interaction between philosophy and education is a deep and complicated relationship that influences how we think, how we learn, and the purpose of education itself. So philosophy and education are having a relationship. They are intertwined in a way that one can't survive without the other. Philosophy provides the foundational principle that shapes education, theories, practices, and policies, while education offers a real-world application of philosophies and idea. So we have philosophy and we have education, where philosophy gives us the ideas, the theories, and then education makes it real. Education makes it practical so that it goes out to the world. So generally, we have education, philosophy, and how they influence one another. Philosophy provides the foundational ideas that shape education, while education offers a real-world text for applying philosophical theories. Secondly, philosophy provides a purpose or aim, while education makes it practical. So, philosophy will provide us with the purpose of applying a theory, while education makes it practical back into when we are teaching and or giving it out to the learners. Then, philosophy shows us the way we should do things, while education moves us to the direction of where we should be doing these things, the direction on how to achieve the goals that are set by philosophy. So philosophy deals with the end, while education deals with the means. So the word philosophy is a word that is gotten from a Greek word. Philo means love, and Sophia means wisdom. So they come together, love and wisdom, and then they form a word, philosophy. While education is a Latin word that means to bring up or to nourish. So education philosophy helps us to define the nature and purpose and goals of education. Philosophy explores questions such as, number one, what is the purpose of education? Why do we get education? Why do we need education? Secondly, how should we educate individuals to create a more just society? Is our society just enough? And if at all it's not just enough, how do we create it to be a more just society through the line of education? Because education is power. What is the role of teachers? We as teachers, what is our role in shaping students' morals and intellectual development? We have a call. They say teaching is a call. So what is our role in shaping the world? What is our role in molding the young children so that in future we don't have wars which are caused by hate speech, where somebody tells another person that these people are not good enough, or these people did this in the past. Maybe it's something that happened 100 years ago, but they carry it back to the life today. How do we nurture the current generation, the ones who are coming behind us, so that they don't hold on to these ideas? Through philosophy, we are able to change the world. So, philosophy of education is a set of beliefs that will inform you how to teach the children, You don't only teach anything, yeah? Some teachings may be bad, some teachings may incite. So philosophy will teach you how to teach, what to teach, and why you teach. So I'll give you a breakdown of this field of philosophy and education. So for me to be able to do that, we will handle philosophical foundations of education. Philosophy influences education by shaping its aims, values, and purpose. What is the aim of education? What is the value of education? What is the purpose of education? So philosophy shapes all these things. So different philosophical schools provide various approaches to how education should be structured, what it should be strived to achieve. So we have different philosophers who have different ideologies, and they bring it to us on how education should be given to people. So that is what we are going to handle right now, the different philosophical perspectives given to us. So we have the first one called existentialism. This one is a philosophy by Jean-Paul and Soren Kierkegaard. So it believes on existence precedes essence. Existence precedes essence. Where existence means you're present, yeah? Then it precedes essence. Essence means purpose. It simply means that you have to be alive to know your purpose in life. So that is existentialism. So it emphasizes on the core knowledge and skills, believing that education should focus on preparing students for practical and productive roles in the society. So education is just supposed to fill the minds of learners, but it's supposed to prepare them for the society. It's supposed to prepare them for the future job market. It's supposed to give them the right skills, the right norms, the right ethical behaviors so that they're able to fit in the society and help us change the world. Under the same philosophy, students are taught to take responsibility of their thoughts and actions. Right now, everything is going online, and we have different things that are happening. We have children doing different things that are not pleasing enough. We even have people, pedophiles and all that. But we are told that according to this theory, we should teach the students that whatever they do, every single thing they do, they have to take responsibility of it, of the actions. And we have to tell them that first it comes with a thought. So their thoughts should be clean because it moves on to the action. But if at all they do the negative, if at all they do the vices, then they have to take responsibility of their action. So how do we achieve this theory? How do we achieve this philosophy? So we should expose learners as teachers. We should expose learners to different pathways and create a conducive environment where they can choose freely. Yeah, a conducive environment. After giving them, don't just expose the learner that I think you are going to be a doctor, or I think you're going to be a lawyer. Then you narrow down the mind of the learner to these things. So what we are told to these careers, what we are told is that let us give them different pathways so that they have a conducive environment to choose the best that they have interest in. Remember, if at all you have a passion for a career, then you can do it to your very best. So let us give them the pathways so that they can go and choose. Then we should be able to give the learners humanities, where we have religion, yeah, so that we mold the spiritual life of these learners, so that they can be able to make good decisions, not bad decisions that affect their lives. When you are molded spiritually, wherever you want to do something that is so bad or something that is so negative, something that will hurt another person, you'll sit back and think of your spirituality. If I do this, is it right in front of my my creator. So let us give them that chance too. Let us build them in that way. So the teachers should also emphasize that the curriculum that the teacher exposes to the children should be able to emphasize the needs of the children, not the curriculum. We have different learners in our classroom. Like I teach special children. We have children who have dyslexia. We have those with dysgraphia. We have learners who have specific learning difficulties. If at all we go straight to the curriculum and don't check on the individual differences of these learners, then you can bet that we will not achieve the goal. So we should also check a student at a time. What is good for this student? What can make this students thrive? So learning should be self-paced, where we go to according to the pace of the learner. At the same time, we should make it self-centered so that the learners are also able to know how to learn. When we were in Dubai the other time in February, I remember we were taught different AI tools that we can use and teach children so that they are able even to monitor their reading speed, their fluency, and all this self-centered and self-paced teaching. The teachers come in as merely facilitators, not people who are just pushing on what they want. Learning comes from the child. So it is learner-centered, not teacher-centered. Then the next theory that I'm going to talk about is progressism, which is by John Dewey, which talks about learning by doing. So it promotes experiential learning, critical thinking, and the idea that education should adapt to the changing needs of the society. So our role as teachers in this theory of progressism, the teacher teaches the child so that the child can progress in life. So the teacher will teach intelligence. You give the child the skill so that the child is able to get the skill and use the skill because the child has gotten it and decoded it in the brain. So we also teach them to live fully so that we make learning so real from preschool. Let us not teach children that they should focus on the career at the end. Let us give the children a full experience at preschool. Give them what they deserve to know there, all the experiences that they deserve to get there. Then they move to primary and high school. Let us expose them. Let us give them opportunity to know the world. Let us not measure on the end. Let them live now. Okay? And then we have the curriculum should respond to the students' personal lives and experiences. So the curriculums that you are making, those who are making the curriculum should be able to check on the life experiences of learners, the life experiences in our societies, and make curriculums that are able to change the society that we live in. The life experiences that they face, if at all there's war, let us have part of the curriculum that talks about war, the causes of war, what makes people fight, the causes of poverty. These are experiences that we are getting at the societal level. If at all they don't feature in our curriculum, then it is a problem. So this theory of progressism is so good. The teacher employs experiential method, teaching the learners how to do this. If at all you're teaching agriculture, here we take them to the garden. They learn how to dig and how to harvest, how to weed, all the steps, so that even at school level, our school is a special school for the deaf. So our learners stay in school, they sleep in school, they eat in school. Some of them are neglected at home. They can't afford school fee. But through our gardens, we have greenhouses. We farm around the garden. We have a poultry. And we teach the learners to take care of this poultry and help us with the farming. Then we harvest the same food to feed them with. So learning should be real from the experience of the learners. Then teachers should be able to be hands-on, not only hands-on, minds-on, and even hearts-on. We should do more than teaching and going home. We should put some love into our classrooms so that at a particular time, you are able to note that a specific child is missing, or a specific child is sick, or one is depressed, and you reach out to the child and try your best to be able to make change and touch the lives of these children. I'll also talk about the philosophy of idealism by Socrates and Plato. This one believes in two forms of the world. We have a spiritual world and a material world. It's just it's connected to the last one that I've talked about. Yeah, it believes in two forms. We have the spiritual and the material. So it gives life a true value. We have the spiritual value that gives us truth, beauty, and goodness. So under this, we are told that we should teach learners religion, we should teach history, we should teach them about saints. Saints are people who have done so good to change the societies. Maybe they serve the society in a specific way to the extent that they were recognized for the exceptional work that they have done in the society. So when we expose our learners to these stories of their success stories, even the heroes, other people who have fought for freedom, people who have fought for justice and all that. So from the experiences of these people, these learners are able to learn and even also aspire to be like these people. So this philosophy teaches us that learners can imitate something good from stories and from the histories that we have already, others who have experienced. So if at all we check on the ethics in education, philosophical ethics plays a significant role in shaping the moral dimension of education. Issues such as equity, justice, fairness, treatment of students are deeply rooted in ethical philosophy. For example, justice in education. Is our education just enough? We have two categories of people in our society. We have the rich and the poor. We have educational resources. Do they reach to the rich children at the same time to the poor children? Some of them are deprived. Some get enough. But at the end of it all, you get that they do the same exams. Is the world fair to them? So we should try our best to try and get ways, those who are the policy makers, if at all we could be able to get a level where these two groups can meet, it can be better. So we have a philosopher, John Raoul. He discusses the fairness in distribution of education resources and how education aims to reduce social inequalities. So the education resources among children from poor families and neighborhoods are yet at the end, they end up doing the same exams. They end up going for the same job market. Yeah. Yet others have a higher hand. Others have an advantage over the others. Let's check on pedagogies. Philosophical ideas also inform teaching methods and strategies. For instance, we have constructivisms by Jean Piaget. This philosophy views learning as a process of building on existing knowledge through active engagement. This one talks about the assimilation and accommodation, where assimilation is by where you absorb new information and experiences, incorporating them with what you already have, where the children learn from known to unknown. The children had already known something. Then now you bring the new message and assimilate them together. Learning is always sequential, where it becomes from easy and then it goes to more complex. So we assimilate the two and the learner is able to understand well. And then we have accommodation, where you remove the knowledge that is not right or that you don't want the learner to have, and then you put beliefs and ideas that are new. so you remove it completely. In this theory, our role as teachers is to try and develop intrinsic motivation in learners so that our learners are more independent by equipping them with knowledge and skills to be able to construct and make meaning. After they get the knowledge, they are able to make meaning. Then learners are taught how to learn for themselves, not what to learn, how they can be able to go and do research and all that. And then they get the information, not by just giving them information. Then teachers provide learning experiences that allow learners to hypothesize, predict, manipulate, pose questions, research, imagine, and investigate. So this theory is just allowing our learners to be more innovative, to have a classroom that is very active, where there's a lot of questioning and predictions, and the people are manipulating objects and all that. It's not like a lecture method classroom. So teachers are supposed to create an interactive classroom, dialogue between the learners and learners. At the same time, it promotes dialogue between the teachers and the learners. So the teachers facilitate the process because they know very well that the learners have ideas and knowledge that is just waiting for the teachers to go and trigger and unleash from within here. So the next one, we have the dialogue pedagogy by Paulo Freire, which emphasizes the importance of dialogue and critical thinking in the educational process, aiming to develop students as active participants in the society. Philosophy provides the rationale for knowledge, of how knowledge is transmitted, how students should be involved in the learning process, and how teachers should be able to facilitate the learning process. Where philosophical inquiry in education itself encourages philosophical inquiry in the classroom, where in the classroom, the learners will question assumptions. Then they'll also reflect on their own beliefs and values. For example, we have in our African culture, we have the myths and misconceptions. We have some beliefs that are very traditional, and when you just grow in the village, and all these are the things that your parents tell you on witchcrafts, and children even die. There's a very high mortality rate between 0 to 5 years of age. But you get that most of the time, a child may be sick and the child has malaria, but the mother will believe that the child has been bewitched. So what will the mother do? The mother will run to a witch doctor to go and seek medication. It's called, in sign language, it's signed like this, but it's called witchcraft. It's called potion. What do we call these things? So they'll go for that. They'll take the drugs from the witch doctor, which are not malarial drugs. What will happen? The child will die, and the woman will keep saying that these people are killing my children. So when the child comes to school and the teacher is teaching about malaria, fever, vomiting as signs of malaria, the child will go back and start questioning the beliefs and values that they have back at home. And maybe the child may save this whole family from different pandemics. So the child engages with diverse viewpoints, develops their reasoning skills as they learn. So this process contributes to the students' intellectual and moral development, helping them to become thoughtful and critical individuals in the society. So philosophy is also a tool for critique, where philosophy serves as a tool for critiquing and improving the education system. Philosophers critically assess the existing education practices and policies to identify biases, limitations, and opportunities for improvement. That is why different curriculums keep propping up, because the philosophers sit down and try to critique, is this curriculum good enough? Is it relevant? Is it, because things keep changing each day, yeah? So like right now, the world is going very digital, and there's a lot of AI going on, and people have to change with it and know how to incorporate it back into their system. So people are trying to reach out and learn more about AI, but it's not yet in our curriculum. There are no books that are even guiding learners to go into to use their computers to go reach there and use that AI. So I hope with time maybe everything will be embraced, and our educators will embrace a lot of AI and the changes that come with it. Then we have the role of knowledge. Philosophy deeply influences how we understand the nature of knowledge and its role in education. It questions what constitutes knowledge, how it is acquired, who has the authority to determine what is worth knowing, as central to education theory. So we have our focus, and we want to know what education covers. There's an ongoing debate about what knowledge is valuable. We have people who have even decided that school is not valuable for their children. So they want their children to stay at home, and they teach them how to do poultry. They teach them how to do agriculture, produce their own food, and sell it to the community. They get money, and these children are needed to learn the farm life. They say that in the farm life, there's even fresh air. And when the children go back to school, they feel they'll put a lot of knowledge that is not relevant to them. So education right now is undergoing a lot of fights where we have that going on. At the same time, we also have teachers shortages where people are not willing to be teachers. Children are not willing to be teachers right now because teachers are underpaid. So what will happen to education? We have a global and cultural perspective that we have to think of. Educational philosophy considers the diverse cultures, context in which education takes place. We have a philosopher, Mahatma Gandhi. I want to draw your attention to the political and cultural dimension of education, advocating for systems that promote both personal and societal transformation. As such, educational philosophy becomes an avenue for exploring global educational equity and across cultural exchange. We need to fit, our children need to fit in the global market. We have people out there who are able to come from Africa and go to Mexico and go to Brazil, go to Italy and work there. That is what we want. So that the education in Africa is able to be fit for education in America. That would be a very big plus for us. Yeah. So in conclusion of my presentation, I'd like to say that the relationship between philosophy and education is foundational and reciprocal. Philosophy offers the lens through which we define the purpose and the values of education, while education provides the space to experiment with, challenge, and apply philosophical ideas. The evolving discourse between these two domains is critical for shaping educational systems that not only impact knowledge, but also nurture critical, ethical, and independent thinkers who can engage with and contribute to the world around them. Otherwise, thank you so much. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much
Thank
for your use and discussing the relationship between philosophy and education. I was very interested. Many thanks.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for appreciating me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
¿Alguien tiene alguna pregunta, algún comentario para la profesora? Por favor, adelante, profesora Ana María.
Muchas gracias, doctor, muchas gracias. A reserva, por supuesto, de que mi inglés no es lo suficientemente fluido como para considerar que le entendí con completitud lo que ella expuso. Quisiera destacar algunas ideas que me parecieron fundamentales y que son muy importantes para lo que significa la educación. Y lo primero que tengo que decir es que felicito, por supuesto, su gran erudición y su amplio bagaje cultural, porque claramente nos dio muestra de que tiene un conocimiento muy amplio de lo que es la educación y de lo que son los fundamentos de la educación. Y desde esta concepción que ella nos hace en relación con el fundamento que significa la filosofía, muy como yo lo comprendo, que me parece que coincidimos en ello, es no como un contenido teórico que se tiene que aprender, sino como un proceso mental que tenemos que aplicar. La filosofía nos ayuda a comprender qué estamos haciendo, desde dónde lo estamos haciendo y para qué lo estamos haciendo. De tal suerte que esto en la educación es sine qua non. Un maestro tiene que estar imbuido precisamente en este contexto mental y en esta precisión respecto a su función, y ella lo describe claramente. Me llama muy poderosamente la atención lo que describe de la función, cómo realizan la tarea educativa, particularmente con los niños de educación especial en su país. Y otra cosa que quiero destacar, que es algo que también, en lo que también coincidimos particularmente con la propuesta de la nueva escuela mexicana en este momento, que tiene que ver con la contextualización de los saberes, con este sentir que lo que se está trabajando con los niños no son cosas eminentemente curriculares o que provienen de un documento, sino que están fundadas en el contexto y en las necesidades y en las capacidades y posibilidades de los niños en donde están ellos inmersos. Y desde esa posibilidad hacerlos vivir plenos. Esta parte me encantó porque cuando ella habla de plenitud y de espiritualidad y de que ellos encuentren dentro de su propio contexto estas posibilidades de desarrollo personal, digo, tiene claro, muy claro lo que es ser un educador. Y a la edad en la que ella trabaja con los niños, por Dios, qué maravilla, que ojalá hubiera muchísimos maestros como ella, tan claros en la función y tan propositivos en el método. No quiero abundar de más, pero felicitarla y agradecerle su valiosísima explicación. Muchísimas gracias, doctora.
Muchas gracias, doctora Ana María. Millicent, thank you so much. I was great listening to you. Thank you.
Welcome. What did she say?
Yeah.
Was she reacting to my presentation?
Yes. It is great.
Okay, it's all right.
Thank you.
Entiendo que no me entendió en español, ¿verdad? Sorry. No. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vamos a continuar con nuestro programa. Y bueno, ha sido muy interesante escuchar a la profesora Millicient Cassianes de Kenia. Y bueno, ahora tengo el placer de presentar al doctor Raymundo Morado Estrada, un gran profesor al que me siento profundamente agradecido que haya aceptado acompañarnos esta tarde, uno de nuestros filósofos mexicanos más influyentes en México y en el mundo. Es investigador del Instituto de Investigaciones Filosóficas de la Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México. Es autor de diversos artículos de investigación, libros, y bueno, muy especialmente ha sido ganador del Premio Universidad Nacional que otorga la UNAM y el Premio Nacional de Lógica que otorga la Academia Mexicana de Lógica. Doctor Raymundo, pues un gran placer que nos acompañe. Bienvenido.
Muchas gracias. Voy a hablar un momento en inglés, pero mi presentación la voy a decir en español, no se preocupen. Thank you for being here. I think that everybody has a little mastery of English, so I'm going to talk in English. But the presentation, I'm going to read it in Spanish. But Professor Millicent, don't worry, the slides are going to be in English, so you will be able to follow most of it. I want to join in what Anita said a moment ago. She sang your praises sky high. She was very impressed, so was I, with your knowledge, panoramic knowledge of philosophy and education, and the way that you showed your concern with something that in Mexico is very present today. We're going through a educational reform, and we want to emphasize that the application to this specific context in which education is going to take place. So Anita was very glad that you were addressing those issues and that you were giving us such a wonderful background, theoretical background on these subjects. I'm going to try to share the presentation. Please let me know if it is readable. Can you see it?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, on the subject of philosophy and education, I'm going to explore a couple of important examples. Now I switch to Spanish, but the slides will be in English. Le mencionaba a la profesora que aunque las láminas van a estar en inglés, para que puedan seguirnos mejor las personas que no hablen originalmente español, voy a ir leyéndolos en español para que también la gente que tenga mayor dominio de la lengua hispánica pueda seguir la presentación. Y si todo sale bien, la gente no va a entender ni en español ni en inglés. Lo primero es, ¿para qué? ¿Para qué vamos a educar? Y a mí me dio mucho gusto que la profesora Millicent enfocara en gran parte de su presentación esa pregunta, ¿cuáles son los propósitos de la educación? Y noten que hay diferentes sentidos de esta cuestión, de esta pregunta. Puede ser, ¿para qué lo hacemos? Pero eso puede ser sociología. ¿Para qué nuestro grupo social está tratando de impulsar esto? Y puede ser, por ejemplo, porque vemos que México o Kenia o Italia necesita resolver ciertos problemas y que un instrumento poderoso para ellos es la educación. O puede ser una pregunta de psicología. ¿Para qué soy profesor? ¿Para qué soy profesora? ¿Para qué yo estoy tratando de hacerlo? Y aquí depende ya mucho de los propósitos individuales que cada uno tenemos. Pero hay también un sentido de la pregunta que es filosófico. ¿Para qué valdría la pena hacerlo? Que puede no ser la razón por la que lo hacemos, pero es la razón que lo justifica, no solamente lo motiva. Y aquí quiero tomar un par de casos como ejemplos, porque han sido importantes, nos han afectado en México y en Estados Unidos. El primero es el que ocurrió en septiembre de 2007, cuando se propuso un nuevo sistema para la educación media superior. Era conocido como la Reforma Integral de la Educación Media Superior. Y apareció oficialmente ya con los documentos en enero de 2008. Pero si ustedes leían esos documentos, encontraban que trataban de responder a las demandas del mundo contemporáneo y consideraban que podía servir la matemática, podía servir muchas disciplinas, pero explícitamente no estaba mencionada como una de las disciplinas a estudiar la filosofía, lo cual no era tan malo porque se trataba de mostrar los objetivos, hacia dónde queríamos llegar. Y sin embargo, la filosofía era clave por lo menos para 5 de esas 6 demandas, de esos 6 objetivos, a saber, para desarrollarse satisfactoriamente en contextos pluralistas. Esto es importante en Kenia, es importante en México, es importante en Italia. Tenemos varias culturas. En México tenemos como 60 culturas básicas y muchas otras subculturas en las que vivimos. Entonces, México no es una cultura, es un mosaico de culturas. Pero así son las culturas normalmente. Enfrentar el universo continuamente creciente de información disponible y mantener una actitud crítica al mundo que nos rodea. Estas son demandas muy relacionadas con la filosofía. Desarrollar soluciones a problemas complejos, comportarnos de una manera reflexiva y responsable y continuamente mejorarnos. Entonces, a mí me dio mucho gusto que la profesora Cassianes prácticamente me evitó tener que desarrollar estos puntos porque ella ya nos explicó cómo es que la filosofía ayuda en todo esto. Professor Cassianes already has explained us how all these demands can be better addressed with philosophy. So you made my job so much easier. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
También había competencias genéricas, habilidades que en general debíamos tener, no importaba hacia dónde fuéramos, hacia más cosas técnicas o humanísticas o científicas o lo que fuera, todos teníamos que tener competencias que estaban en demanda, necesarias para todos los campos. Y la filosofía contribuía a todas esas 11, especialmente a los sujetos deben conocerse a sí mismos. Eso es importante, no importa qué es lo que ustedes hagan, deben poder comunicarse y deben poder evaluar. Y había algunas metas, algunas cosas deseables para las ciencias experimentales que eran filosóficas también. Producir juicios de valor sobre la contribución y alcance de la ciencia como un proceso colaborativo e interdisciplinario en la construcción social del conocimiento. O tener opiniones sobre el impacto de la ciencia y la tecnología en la vida cotidiana, asumiendo consideraciones éticas. Entonces, esto es un retrato hablado de la filosofía, pero esto también se aplica para ciencias sociales o para comunicación, que son rubros muy importantes de nuestra educación en México. Poder justificar respuestas personales a dilemas éticos. No nada más tener respuestas, sino justificarlas. Poder leer y comunicar ideas críticamente y de una manera efectiva y clara, tanto oralmente como por escrito. Identifica la persona, ordena e interpreta las ideas, los datos y los conceptos en un texto, tanto los que están explícitos como los que están implícitos. Toma en consideración el contexto en el cual el texto fue producido y el contexto en el cual es recibido, además. Argumenta de una manera precisa, coherente y creativa. Entonces, como ven, esto nos plantea un problema. ¿Por qué esta reforma que estaban proponiendo no hace mucho, y algunas reformas más actuales, ignoran a la disciplina que mejor puede contribuir a desarrollar la mayoría de esas habilidades que tenemos como meta? La respuesta es muy sencilla. porque a veces los educadores olvidan lo que la filosofía puede ofrecer. Segundo ejemplo, y este es muy triste, si quieren, quiten el volumen durante un ratito para que no sufran, pero esto ocurrió, en realidad pasó. La gente siempre tiene una filosofía, y en el 2012, en la convención del Partido Republicano en Texas, en Fort Worth, presentaron su filosofía de una manera muy clara. Entonces, noten, esto es 2012. No me digan que es que se han ido a la derecha los norteamericanos en los últimos años, o es culpa de esta persona o esta otra. No. Esto es anterior. Esto es algo que ya venía desde hace tiempo. Sobre la disciplina en el salón de clases, escribieron ellos, esto es público, recomendamos que los consejos educativos locales y los profesores en el salón de clases tengan más autoridad para manejar problemas de disciplina. El castigo corporal es efectivo y legal en Texas. Básicamente están diciendo, dejen que los golpeemos. La letra con sangre entra. Sobre el desarrollo para niños pequeños. Creemos que los padres son los mejor capacitados para entrenar a sus niños en su desarrollo temprano y oponerse, y nos oponemos a la educación preescolar, kinder, obligatorios. Le exigimos al Congreso local del estado que cancele los programas patrocinados por el gobierno que estaban tratando de apoyar el desarrollo temprano de los niños. O sea, dejen ustedes de estar apoyando la educación temprana. Si necesitan educación los niños, que los papás se los den. La educación basada en conocimiento. Nos oponemos a eso. Nos oponemos a la enseñanza de habilidades de pensamiento de orden superior. Clarificación de valores, habilidades de pensamiento crítico y programas similares que simplemente aprender dominio que se enfoca en modificar el comportamiento y cuyo propósito es desafiar las creencias fijas de los estudiantes y minar la autoridad paterna. ¿Recuerdan lo que la profesora Cassianes nos dijo sobre la malaria? Un niño que aprende esas cosas en la escuela es un peligro en su casa.
Transforman.
Entonces tenemos que evitar que los niños vayan a la casa y contradigan a los papás. Educación sexual. Reconocemos la autoridad y la responsabilidad de los padres en lo que respecta a la educación sexual. No nada más la responsabilidad, también la autoridad. Ellos son la autoridad. Ellos son los que deben decidir. Creemos que los padres deben tener la oportunidad de revisar, vetar básicamente el material antes de que permitan que se enseñe. Y nos oponemos a cualquier educación sexual que no sea la abstinencia hasta el matrimonio. Entonces, vamos a sostener ciertos principios tradicionalistas, apoyamos los temas en la escuela con énfasis en los principios judeocristianos sobre los que dicen estos tejanos fue fundada América, no tienen mucho conocimiento de la historia, obviamente, y que forman la base de los sistemas legales, políticos y económicos de Norteamérica. Pues esto es un movimiento organizado muy poderoso que tiene una filosofía de la educación. No es la filosofía de educación que la profesora Cassianes nos ha estado mencionando, que si este filósofo o este otro nos pueden ayudar con sus ideas. Esto es otra filosofía, pero si no somos proactivos, si no tomamos en serio el uso de la filosofía en la educación, entonces una de estas es la que va a regir. La moraleja es, la filosofía no es opcional. La filosofía de la educación es simplemente un añadido. Cada práctica educacional filosófica sigue una filosofía de la educación, pero generalmente de una manera inconsistente e inconsciente. Con respecto a las cosas importantes en la vida, o que sean muy afortunados, o tienen, lo siento mucho, que involucrarse en una reflexión sistemática filosófica. No hay de otra. Finalmente, una breve recapitulación de algunas cosas en las que la filosofía puede ayudar a una educadora para desarrollar las habilidades y poder tener una mejor filosofía que presentar a cuando la gente lo ignora o peor todavía, lo ataca. La habilidad de hablar con más precisión, menos jerga, más claridad. La capacidad de analizar conceptos. Por ejemplo, no confundir entrenamiento y educación. Detectar inconsistencias. Por ejemplo, hay gente que piensa que la educación es un derecho y un privilegio. Reducir una posición al absurdo, como la de que, pues si no hay verdad, entonces es verdad que no hay verdad. Reconocer falsos dilemas. Mira, o evalúas cualitativamente o no evalúas. No, hay otras opciones. Con filosofía, la expresión de nuestro pensamiento mejora. Idealmente, deberían ser tantas palabras como ideas, no más, no menos. La gente con pocas ideas y muchas palabras habla y habla y habla. La gente con pocas palabras y muchas ideas puede generar malos entendidos. La cosa esa sobre el ese, y no sabemos ni cómo expresarnos, entonces fácilmente decimos algo que se puede entender de muchas formas. La filosofía nos ayuda a hacer preguntas, promueve honestidad intelectual, no solo como buenas intenciones, sino como la práctica de examinar nuestras propias ideas como si fueran de otro. Objetividad, pues, y evaluarlas como un abogado del diablo. Nos ayuda a explorar nuestros supuestos, que a veces ni siquiera notamos. Promueve el respeto para los que piensan diferente, no necesariamente para las ideas de ellos, sino para ellos. Y hace que las objeciones no se nos aparezcan como obstáculos, sino como oportunidades. Sobre todo, nos ayuda a reflexionar sobre preguntas básicas que llevamos desde los primeros años de la carrera en educación y que nos atormentan el resto de nuestras vidas. Finalmente, la profesora Cassianes ya fue muy generosa con nosotros y nos dio muchos ejemplos, pero aquí hay algunas preguntas filosóficas sobre la educación que una educadora tiene que enfrentar. Preguntas de ontología. ¿Qué tipo de cosa es eso? ¿Qué es educación? ¿Podemos compartirla realmente? ¿Hay algo así como una educación mexicana, italiana, brasileña? Epistemología. ¿Hay una verdadera ciencia de la educación o es puro arte? ¿Y cómo sé si sé o si simplemente estoy desarrollando algo que aprendí? Antropología filosófica. ¿Puede alguien ser plenamente humana sin educación? Cuestiones de lógica. Una teoría educativa, pedagógica, didáctica, ¿está bien argumentada, bien fundamentada, bien defendida? Cuestiones de ética. ¿Es legítimo que la educación sea mandatoria, sea obligatoria? ¿O está eso violando la libertad de los alumnos o de sus padres? Filosofía de la cultura. ¿Cada cultura tiene su propia educación? ¿O puede haber algo que trascienda las culturas individuales? Estas son preguntas que necesitamos enfrentar si queremos que realmente no se quede en la ignorancia de una reforma incompleta o en ir hacia atrás en un mundo en el cual mucha gente preferiría que pensáramos menos. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, doctor Raymundo Morado. Muy bien, muy interesante, y creo que estas preguntas van a hacer que tengamos, desde luego, muchos cuestionamientos, muchas reflexiones. Gracias. Profesora Millicient, please.
I think your phone is off. Your microphone.
I'd just like to thank you for the good presentation. It was a wonderful presentation, and I was just clapping for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias, doctor Raymundo. ¿Tenemos espacio para una pregunta o un comentario para el doctor? ¿Alguna pregunta?
I only wish I could have been as eloquent as Professor Cassianes. That's my only regret.
You are good.
Sí tenemos una pregunta, profesor Raymundo, la profesora Elba María. Adelante, por favor.
Sí. Hola, buenas tardes. Pues la verdad es un honor, un gusto poderlo escuchar, porque somos educadoras que tratamos día a día que la filosofía sea un estilo de vida, que no sea una disciplina, que no sea algo que solamente se dice, sino que se hace. Mi pregunta es, ¿qué es lo que necesita nuestro país, los países, las escuelas, para que haya una verdadera filosofía en la vida de nuestros niños?
What do we need for true philosophy in our lives, especially in the lives of our students? I think we have to take it seriously. We have a whole movement since the 1970s called Philosophy for Children. There's a lot of philosophical engagement that can be done when you're very young, when you can still learn, and when you have a lot of interesting questions. Normally, children are great philosophers because they are fearless questionnaires, fearless researchers, and they will ask you things that they still don't know that they shouldn't be asking. That is improper for them to engage in those issues. So I think we have to respect the intelligence of children. They are more capable than many adults to be intellectually honest and impartial and to follow a question to the end. We have to honor the curiosity of our students, and they can be 30 years old or 3 years old. Each one in his own way can live philosophy. So don't wait till you go to college to really start engaging with existentialism or with Dewey or with idealism. The basic ideas are very simple. Just avoid technicisms, explain the basic brand of it, and they will be able to start forming their capacity to reflect. Only if they start exercising their intellectual muscles when they are very young and flexible, they can really dance later on. If you start trying to dance when you're 40 years old, it hurts a lot. It's very difficult. But Nietzsche, a famous philosopher, once said, "I could not believe in a God that cannot dance." So let us dance philosophically from very earliest ages, when we can still be free and have a wide range of motion, before life makes us lose that flexibility. That's one of the things that we can do to bring philosophy into the life of our countries. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, doctor Raymundo. Pues agradecemos mucho que haya aceptado participar en esta conferencia. Nos sentimos muy honrados con su presencia. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos. Un gran placer.
Un placer escucharlo, doctor.
Muy bien, pues bueno, vamos a continuar. Aún tenemos 2 participaciones más y ha sido una tarde extraordinaria. Espero que todos y todas ustedes estén disfrutando de estas presentaciones.